The silent relic the galaxy was filled with endless stars, countless planets and countless empires, but in one forgotten corner of space floated something no one dared to touch. It was a warship, ancient and broken. Left behind in the cold dark void, the ship was huge, larger than any alien fleet vessel. Its black hull scarred with deep burns as if it had survived 1,000 battles. Great towers of metal rose from its spine like the bones of a long-dead beast. Its weapons were shattered and silent, its lights long gone. It looked dead. Yet it gave off a strange pressure that made even the bravest captains uneasy. Merchants passed through the nearby trade routes and whispered to each other. "That is no ordinary wreck. It belongs to the ghosts of the past," others answered. "It is cursed, do not go near it," but still. Rumors spread faster than ships could fly. The alien council of the Kravik Dominion was the first to hear of it. They gathered their warlords and generals, arguing who should take the relic. One said, "It is only scrap. We can harvest the metal," another said. "No, it must be a weapon from the lost race." They spoke the word with contempt. Humans. Humans were a name spoken like a joke. The galaxy remembered them as a weak species who had once tried to expand among the stars. They had burned bright for a short while, but then they disappeared. No one knew why. Some said disease, some said civil war, some said the galaxy simply crushed them, and now they were dust in history. Still, the warship floated there, as if mocking those who had mocked humanity. One brave Kravik warlord sent a scout team aboard. The soldiers entered through a torn section of the hull. Their lights revealed corridors blackened by fire, walls lined with strange human symbols, and empty chambers that echoed with silence. No bodies, no life, only the cold breath of time. Yet as they moved deeper, they felt something. It was not sound, not light, but weight. Like unseen eyes pressing against their backs, one soldier whispered, "The walls are watching us." Another laughed nervously. Do not be a child, but still they quickened their steps. They reached the command deck. Broken consoles scattered across the floor. A single chair stood at the center. Heavy and cold, it faced the stars as if its owner had never left. One soldier touched the console, and suddenly the ship reacted. A low hum shook the entire warship. Lights flickered for a heartbeat, and the black hull glowed faintly with power. The soldiers screamed in shock. "It is alive!" they shouted. They tried to flee, running through corridors as alarms faintly echoed. Red lights flickered once more, then died. Outside, the watching Kravik fleet saw it too. For a moment, the dead ship lit up like a waking giant. Then silence returned. But the silence was heavier than before. It was the silence of something waiting. The commander of the Kravik fleet ordered retreat. "Do not touch it again," he roared. "This is not a prize, it is a trap." But it was too late. The rumors had already begun to spread. Traitors, spies, and informants carried the tale across the galaxy. The relic stirs, the human warship stirs. On distant worlds, alien rulers heard the whispers. Some laughed. "Humans are gone. Their toys are nothing." Others frowned. If this is true, if humans had such power, then why did they vanish? The oldest among them remembered something. Ancient records buried deep. Forgotten warnings that spoke of human wrath. If humanity ever returns, the record said, they will not return as explorers, but as fury itself. The galaxy had laughed at humans once. But now, looking at the silent relic drifting in the void, the laughter felt hollow. The warship floated, broken yet unbroken, its presence spreading unease through every empire. Fleets sailed by, but none dared approach, and still, deep inside its dead heart, a spark of energy remained, waiting, and far beyond, in the dark reaches where no star shone. Something stirred in answer. Humanity, silent for centuries, had heard the call. The galaxy had no idea what was coming, but soon it would tremble. The fear spreads news of the relic traveled faster than light across the galaxy. Whispers became shouts, and soon even the highest councils of great empires were speaking about it. A dead human warship floating in silence yet glowing with power. The Zorath hierarchy held a secret meeting inside their crystal palace. Their ruler, High Seer Talric, listened as his advisors argued. One shouted, "It is nothing." "A broken wreck," another whispered. "It hummed with life. It could wake again." Talric raised his long hand, his voice calm but sharp. "And if it wakes, will it serve us or will it destroy us?" No one answered. On the far side of the stars, the Vornak Dominion debated in their war chambers. The generals wanted to seize the ship. The priests declared it cursed. One priest slammed his staff on the ground. "This is not ours to claim. It belongs to the ghosts of mankind." But the generals laughed. Mankind is dead. The galaxy killed them long ago. Yet their laughter felt thin. Meanwhile, smaller races panicked. Traders changed their routes to avoid the silent system. Smugglers swore they saw strange lights in the void near the relic, and mercenaries whispered that the ship's shadow was growing longer every day. Then something happened that changed whispers into fear. The warship moved not much, not fast, but its broken engines gave off a flare of light. Scanners across nearby systems picked it up, and the galaxy trembled. A dead ship should not move, but it drifted as if pulled by invisible hands. The Kravic Dominion who first touched the relic faced riots among their people. Mothers shouted in fear, "You have woken the humans." Merchants refused to travel, and even soldiers asked to be reassigned. The Dominion's leaders tried to calm them, saying, "It is nothing but an empty hull." Yet in their hearts they knew otherwise. At the same time, a signal spread, faint and broken, a pulse of energy that stretched across the stars. It was weak but old, coded in a language few remembered. Still, some archives translated it. The words were chilling, "Do not touch what is ours, for we will return across the galaxy." Rulers looked at each other in silence. None dared to speak the truth aloud, but all were thinking the same thing. Humans were not gone. In the city world of Kira Prime, a scholar uncovered a hidden document. It was thousands of years old, written by an alien witness during the last days of humanity. It read, "They left us with warnings. They said the stars would carry their wrath if we betrayed them." The scholar trembled as he held the text, whispering, "The prophecy is true, but still." Many mocked. The young emperor of the Rylith Empire declared to his people, "We are the future, not some forgotten species," his fleets cheered. But their cheers were hollow. In their eyes burned quiet doubt. Meanwhile, pirates tried to test the legend. A small band of raiders entered the system where the relic drifted. They approached with greed, hoping to strip its metal. Their ships latched onto the hull like insects, cutting into its skin. They laughed at the fear of others. Then the ship answered without warning. A surge of energy shot through its hull. A blinding flash struck the pirate vessels. Every raider ship went silent in one heartbeat. No explosions, no wreckage, only darkness. It was as if the relic had swallowed them whole. When news of the pirates' fate reached the galaxy, laughter died. No one dared mock anymore. The alien council scrambled to form alliances. Whispers of war spread, fear turned into paranoia. Empires accused each other of hiding humans. Some even executed spies, thinking they carried human secrets. But the truth was far greater. For in hidden corners of space, beyond known maps, strange movements were seen. Faint signals of fleets assembling. Ghostly transmissions in human codes. Unseen stations lighting up after centuries of silence. The galaxy felt it in their bones. Humanity was returning. Not as explorers, not as friends, but as wrath. And still, the relic drifted, broken yet alive. A dark beacon that spread fear like wildfire. The return signal. The galaxy thought the relic was only a silent warning, but then the signal came. It began as a faint pulse, weak and broken, like a dying heartbeat echoing through the void. Scientists first dismissed it as static, but then the rhythm grew clearer. Steady, deliberate, not random, one alien scholar whispered. "It is a message," his voice shaking. The message spread across relay stations, bouncing from system to system. No one could stop it. No one could block it. It was as if the signal already knew every path through the stars. Ancient codes embedded in the heart of the galaxy itself. Across empires, technicians worked desperately to decode the strange transmission. Their faces turned pale when the words appeared on their screens. "We are coming home." The Council of the Vornak Dominion panicked. Generals roared for immediate action. "Destroy the relic before it calls more ships." Priests fell to their knees. It is too late. The humans rise, yet none of them dared approach the warship again. On the crystal world of the Zorath hierarchy, High Seer Talric demanded answers. "Who carries this signal? Who dares wake ghosts?" But no one answered because every empire's scanners confirmed the same terrifying truth. The signal originated from the abandoned human warship, but it did not end there. The pulse continued, spreading further, activating old markers hidden across space. Stations long thought dead flickered to life. Satellites buried in asteroid belts began to glow. Derelict probes in forgotten orbits changed direction, aligning themselves toward one point. Earth, the galaxy froze for centuries. Earth had been considered dust, a ruined cradle abandoned after humanity's fall. No one dared to visit it. No one cared to search for it, but now, the signal pointed back to it like a beacon calling its children. In the Academy of Kira Prime, scholars rushed to old records. Piecing together forgotten fragments, one whispered, "The humans always planned for this." Another trembled. "They left a network across the stars, a web waiting to awaken." Fear spread like a storm. The Relic Empire tried to dismiss it. Their emperor laughed loudly, declaring, "Humans are shadows." Nothing more, but his generals knew better. They had seen the pirate fleet vanish near the relic. They had seen the pulse bend the galaxy itself. Meanwhile, smaller races began to prey. Entire worlds fell silent during the nights, watching the skies, waiting for ships to appear. Mothers told their children, "Do not fear. Humans will not see us." Yet their voices cracked with doubt. Then came the second message, clear, strong, undeniable. "We warned you." Across the galaxy, rulers stared in horror, because those words were not just sound. They carried power. Ancient authority burned into them. Some listeners even fell unconscious as the signal passed through their systems, their minds unable to bear the weight of it. A council of great powers gathered in secret. The Zorath, the Vornak, the Rylith, and others, they spoke with trembling voices. "What if the humans truly return? What if they seek vengeance?" one whispered. "They will not stop. They will not forgive." Another tried to protest. "They vanished once. Perhaps they are weak," but silence answered him. Because in their hearts they remembered the old wars. They remembered how humanity had fought with fire unmatched. They remembered how small fleets of humans had broken mighty armadas. They remembered and they feared. Back at the relic, the warship stirred again. Its blackened hull glowed faintly. Red lines of energy crawling across its surface like veins of fire. The broken towers hummed with hidden strength. The ship was not waking alone. It was waking everything connected to it. Spies reported secret fleets moving in the darkness, stations hidden in nebulae activating, unknown vessels appearing where no map placed them. All with one mark, the old human insignia. The galaxy's rulers realized the truth. The relic was not just a ship, it was a key, a door, and it had unlocked the path for humanity's return. On the edges of known space, first sightings were reported. A merchant convoy screamed across the network. "Ships, black and silver, fast like shadows, we are pursued." Then silence, human ships had arrived. The return signal was no longer just words, it was reality. The storm was rising, and the galaxy, once proud and fearless, could only tremble in the waiting silence. The awakening of humanity. The signal had traveled across the stars, carrying fear into every empire. Yet the galaxy had not seen the true storm, not yet then in the farthest reaches of space. Where no empire dared to map, strange lights began to appear. At first they were small, flickers of energy in the void, hidden outposts stirring to life after centuries of silence, stations buried inside asteroid fields glowing with blue fire, colossal structures breaking free from their long slumber. One by one they lit up, each one carrying the mark of humanity. Merchants who drifted too close vanished. Patrol ships sent to investigate never returned. Whispers spread like wildfire. "The humans have woken. Their colonies were never dead, only hidden." And then the ships came. They appeared without warning, tearing through the void with engines no alien could understand. Their hulls dark and sharp, silver streaks glimmering under starlight, smaller than alien cruisers, yet faster, more agile, more alive. Fleets of them emerged in silence, forming lines like shadows preparing for war. An old Vornak admiral watched the first sighting through his command screen. His claws trembled. "I fought humans once, long ago," he whispered, "and I swore I would never face them again." His officers stared in fear, for the admiral was known as unshakable. Back at the relic warship, the broken giant stirred again. Its dead lights glowed brighter. Its silent towers hummed with power. The ship seemed to sigh as if waking from a long dream. The galaxy's spies reported with dread. "The relic is alive. It has aligned with the new human fleets." Then came the broadcast. It was not a voice of anger, nor of hatred, but of cold certainty. Every empire, every ruler, every soldier heard it in their own tongue. "We left as explorers. We return as fury." The words echoed through the halls of power. Some rulers collapsed in terror. Some screamed for fleets to prepare. Some prayed, but none laughed anymore. In the Relic Empire, the young emperor who had mocked humanity was struck silent. His generals demanded action. "We must prepare our defenses. We must unite with others," but deep down they all knew defenses would not hold, not against this. On small worlds, ordinary people watched the skies with dread. Some whispered that perhaps the humans would show mercy. Others shook their heads. Mercy is not for those who betrayed them. The scholars of Kira Prime pieced together the old records once more. One scholar cried out, "It was all planned. Humanity never vanished. They went into hiding, waiting for the right time," another whispered. "And that time is now." Meanwhile, fleets of aliens tried to gather near the relic, desperate to understand. But the human ships arrived first. They did not fire. They did not speak. They only drifted near the relic, surrounding it like guardians. The galaxy watched in silence, for it was clear this was not a dead ship. This was their leader, their flag, their symbol. The humans had returned not as scattered survivors, but as an organized force. An armada hidden for centuries now awakened. Some alien rulers tried to send messages, begging for peace, but no reply came, only silence. A silence heavier than any threat. In the shadows of deep space, more human ships emerged, larger than before, carriers and dreadnoughts with glowing spines of energy. Weapons no alien mind could understand. Their presence alone was enough to shatter hope. The awakening was complete. The relic warship's final systems came alive. Its broken hull pulsed with red light. Its towers glowed with fire. And from its core came one last signal. Judgment begins. The galaxy trembled, knowing the words were not empty, knowing the storm had only just begun, and humanity, silent for centuries, now moved as one, awakened and furious. The first clash, the galaxy had waited in silence, watching humanity awaken, but fear soon turned to desperation. The Rylith Empire, proud and arrogant, refused to bow to shadows. Their emperor declared, "We will show the galaxy that humans are weak. We will crush their ghost fleets." His voice carried across his worlds, but behind his eyes there was doubt. Still, he had no choice, for if he showed fear, his empire would crumble, so the Rylith fleets gathered. Thousands of warships with burning engines, weapons charged and ready. They marched toward the relic and the human fleet, banners glowing, soldiers chanting. It was the largest armada the galaxy had seen in centuries. Alien news networks broadcast the advance. Some cheered, hoping the humans would fall. Others trembled, whispering, "This will not end well." When the Rylith armada reached the silent system, they found the humans waiting. The relic warship floated in the center, its black hull glowing with faint red light. Around it circled hundreds of human vessels, silent and still, their formation perfect. Not a single movement wasted, the Rylith commander sneered. "They hide behind a broken relic. They will burn before our might." He raised his hand, and the first wave of ships charged. Weapons blazing, lasers cut through the void. Plasma torpedoes screamed forward. The system shook with fire. The humans did not move. They did not fire, they simply waited. Then, in one moment, everything changed. The relic warship awakened fully. Its towers lit with crimson fire. Energy surged across its scarred hull. And in a single flash, a wall of burning light erupted. Every Rylith weapon dissolved before it touched the ship. Then the humans answered. The smaller human vessels darted forward, moving faster than thought. Their weapons fired beams of white fire that tore through the Rylith ships like paper. Shields shattered, hulls split apart. Entire cruisers were silenced in seconds. The Rylith commander roared, "Hold the line!" But there was no line. Their formation crumbled as human ships danced through them like hunters among prey. A single human destroyer weaved between three Rylith battleships, its weapons firing in precise bursts, each shot striking a weakness, each shot tearing another vessel apart. The alien crews screamed as their ships burned. The Rylith tried to regroup, sending their dreadnoughts forward. Massive ships bristling with cannons, but the humans unleashed something new. Glowing projectiles launched from their carriers. Not missiles, but living storms of energy. They wrapped around the dreadnoughts and pulled them apart piece by piece. The battle turned into slaughter within minutes. Hundreds of Rylith ships were gone, the rest fled in chaos. Engines burning as they tried to escape. But the humans did not chase, they let them run, their silence louder than victory. The galaxy watched in horror as reports flooded in. The great Rylith Empire had sent its strongest fleet, and it had been destroyed in less than an hour. The Emperor of Rylith sat in his throne. Trembling, his people cried out for answers, but none came, for there was no answer. The truth was clear, humanity had returned. Not as victims, not as wanderers, but as wrath itself. Other empires now hesitated. Their rulers whispered to each other in fear. If the Rylith could not stand, then who can? Alliances were formed overnight, but none dared to move. None dared to strike. The relic warship, glowing brighter than ever, drifted back into silence, its human guardians forming a ring around it once more. No celebration, no taunts, only quiet, cold, merciless quiet. Across the stars, voices trembled. The first clash has ended, and the humans have shown the galaxy what awaits. And deep inside the relic, hidden systems stirred again as if the ship itself smiled, as if it knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy shivered, for now it understood. Humanity was not just back, they were unstoppable. The wrath unleashed. The destruction of the Rylith fleet sent shockwaves across the galaxy. No one had ever seen such a swift and merciless defeat. The proud empire that once laughed at humanity now licked its wounds. Its world silent in fear, but the humans did not stop. From the shadows of forgotten space, more fleets emerged, carriers, dreadnoughts, and strange ships no alien mind could explain. Their engines glowed like suns. Their weapons pulsed with living energy, and their formations moved with one will, one purpose. The galaxy soon realized that the battle against the Rylith was not a warning. It was only the first strike. The humans began their campaign with precision. One empire after another felt the fury. The Vornak Dominion, who had once mocked the relic, awoke to find their outer colonies burning. Human ships appeared without warning, striking in silence, destroying defense fleets before alarms could sound. Entire star systems fell in hours, not days. The Zorath hierarchy tried to prepare, surrounding their crystal worlds with massive shields. But the humans unleashed weapons that bent light itself, piercing through barriers as if they were glass. The shields that had stood for centuries shattered in a single breath. Their cities lit up in fire. The galaxy screamed for alliances. But humanity struck too fast, too hard. A council of rulers met in secret. Their voices shaking, "We must unite, we must resist," but even as they spoke, their ships were already burning, their fleets collapsing. The humans revealed their greatest weapon, not a ship, not a cannon, but fear. They did not always destroy. Sometimes they left survivors. Fleets shattered but not erased. Colonies scorched but not consumed. Those who lived carried the stories back to their rulers, whispering in horror, "Their ships cannot be touched. Their weapons cannot be stopped. Their silence is worse than death." The relic warship remained at the center of it all, still scarred, still broken, yet glowing with endless power. It never fired a shot, yet every human fleet moved as if guided by it. The galaxy began to call it the Heart of Wrath, on Kira Prime. The scholars wept as they pieced together the old prophecies. One cried out, "It is happening, every word is true." The humans are the storm. Entire planets fell into panic. Riots broke out as citizens begged their leaders to surrender. Others fled into deep space, hoping to hide. But there was nowhere to hide, for the humans had mapped the stars long before. The Rylith Emperor, broken by his defeat, begged his council for mercy. "We must kneel. We must submit," but no one dared to send a message, for humanity had not asked for surrender. Humanity had not spoken at all. That silence became terror. Alien soldiers who faced the humans described the same nightmare. They do not taunt, they do not rage. They simply come, they strike, and they vanish, leaving nothing but wreckage behind, one survivor said. "I saw a single human ship destroy 5 of ours, and it did not even slow down." The humans struck the galaxy like lightning, not conquering, not enslaving, but punishing. Every empire that had once betrayed them, every ruler that had laughed at them, every world that had cheered their fall, now felt their fury. Still, some wondered, why do they not take worlds? Why do they not claim thrones? The answer was darker than conquest. The humans did not want to rule, they wanted vengeance. The galaxy had once forgotten their name, but now every corner of space spoke it in fear. Children whispered it in the dark. Soldiers prayed against it before battles. Rulers dared not even say it aloud. Humanity. The relic warship drifted in silence, yet its shadow stretched across the stars, and every empire knew the truth. The wrath was not finished, it had only begun. The galaxy that once laughed was now drowning in fear, and the storm had no end in sight. The galaxy trembles. The galaxy was no longer the same, once filled with pride and arrogance. Now it was covered in fear. Every empire, every ruler, every citizen looked to the stars with dread, waiting for the shadow of human ships to appear. World after world had burned, fleets after fleets had fallen, and yet humanity still did not speak. They did not ask for peace. They did not demand surrender. They gave no terms. They gave no mercy, only silence. The relic warship drifted at the center of it all, glowing brighter with every battle, as if feeding on the terror it inspired. Its scarred hull pulsed like the heartbeat of a living giant, and the galaxy began to believe it was not only a ship, but the very spirit of humanity made metal. On Kira Prime, scholars gathered for one last meeting. Their faces pale, their voices trembling. The prophecies are fulfilled, one said. They warned us long ago if humanity returned. It would not be as explorers, but as fury. Another whispered, and we have no power to stop them. The Rylith Emperor, broken and desperate, sent a final message. His voice cracked as he begged. Great humans, we were wrong, we mocked you. We betrayed you, but we beg you now, show mercy. His plea echoed across the stars, but no answer came. Instead, humanity struck again. This time at the very heart of the Vornak Dominion, their capital world, guarded by fleets thicker than clouds, defenses stronger than steel. The humans tore through it in a single day. Their ships moved like shadows. Their weapons tore apart defenses that had stood for centuries, and when it was over, the Vornak homeworld was silent. Its skies filled with smoke. The galaxy trembled. The Zorath hierarchy tried to surrender before the humans reached them. Their High Seer sent his message. We accept your rule. We will serve you. But again, no reply came, only silence. Their fleet scattered in panic, their people hiding in caves, waiting for fire to fall from the sky. That was when the humans finally spoke. The message was carried on every channel, across every system, into every mind. It was calm, it was cold, and it was final. We gave you time, we gave you warnings. You laughed, you betrayed, you destroyed. Now you will remember. The words cut deeper than any blade. They were not shouted, they were not angry. They were simply truth, and the galaxy understood that truth. The relic warship lit up like a star, its towers blazing with crimson fire, its scarred body alive with endless power, and the human fleet surrounded it, thousands strong, stretching across the system like a wall of shadows. Alien rulers wept in their halls. Soldiers threw down their weapons. Citizens prayed to gods who did not answer. But none of it mattered, for humanity had already decided their fate. Some whispered that humanity would burn the galaxy until nothing remained. Others believed they would let it live only as a reminder of their wrath, but none could deny the truth. The galaxy was broken, and it would never heal. The relic's final signal thundered through space. Stronger than any voice, sharper than any blade. Never forget humanity, for we are the storm. The stars themselves seemed to tremble. Empires that once laughed now bowed in silence, and the galaxy knew for all time that humanity had returned. Not as explorers, not as allies, but as fury incarnate, and in the endless dark, where the relic drifted among its guardians, the silence grew heavier, not the silence of death, but the silence of a storm waiting for its next strike. The galaxy would never laugh again.